There's a lot going on at the moment, so I thought we'd just check in on the First Lady and theorized Donald hater Melania Trump. What's she been up to, huh? In between her schedule of rejecting her husband's attempts to hold her hand and always finding an amazing suit to wear, Melania has actually been very busy. Her own Bitcoin, a documentary, a new book that claims she hates her husband, and a genuinely good bipartisan cause. Melania is doing anything she can to not have to be at Mara Lago in the White House, I guess. Round 1 as First Lady produced a couple of controversies for Melania, like the time she said she didn't care about Christmas decorations.
Who gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration, but I need to do it, right?
It's kind of iconic. But this time, she's taking a new, more independent approach to her role. Let's check in on Melania. It's hard not to notice that Melania isn't seen with her husband so much these days. In January, she was absent from Washington for about 4 weeks, only returning to the White House for an annual dinner with the nation's governors. She did the decorations, which Trump says she's good at, so although she may be preparing for White House visitors, apparently she's not super interested in spending time there. I can't imagine why. According to sources with direct knowledge of her schedule, Melania was an active presence in the first few days of Trump's second presidency, but after a trip to natural disaster-ravaged North Carolina and California on January 24th, she didn't return to the White House for 4 weeks. Yes, you heard that correctly. She did spend 2 to 3 full days with her husband and then accidentally found herself very busy elsewhere for a whole month afterwards. CNN reported during the presidential transition that Melania was expected to spend her time between New York, where her son Barron is attending college, and Florida. But her general absence suggests her time in Washington may be even more limited than previously expected, which is a solid change in dynamic for a first family. She's busy though. She's got her own stuff on. It can't be anything to do with how she feels about her husband. A source told OK Magazine, people are saying she disappeared, but the truth is she doesn't need to be there for every single event. She's definitely been keeping busy behind the scenes. Not long after the November 2024 election, Amazon signed a multi-million-dollar licensing deal with Melania to film a documentary about herself, set to be released sometime this year. The First Lady is set to make around $28 million from the project. There's nothing suspicious about any of that at all, by the way, so don't worry about it. Melania is executive producer of the project, meaning she has full editorial control over its content and also where and when things are filmed. The project itself was announced on January 6th this year. Yes, they announced it on January 6th. You can't make this up, hey? An Amazon spokesperson described the project as an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at First Lady Melania Trump. Melania told Fox and Friends, "We started the production in November, and we're shooting it right now. So it's a day-to-day life, what I'm doing, what kind of responsibilities I have." A Miami political source told People, Melania has been busy shooting her documentary, and that has taken place in several locations, including the White House. So yes, look, Melania had to take a break from her First Lady duties because she was too busy filming a documentary about what it's like to be First Lady. It's kind of iconic. Sorry, I can't come and meet those world leaders today. I have to film my documentary somewhere else that isn't here at the White House with my husband. Damn, the scheduling. Am I right? Me when I hate my husband. The documentary is set to be directed by disgraced Hollywood director Brett Ratner, who is known for the Rush Hour movies and X-Men: The Last Stand, as well as being accused of sexual harassment and misconduct by 6 different women in 2017. According to Kim Masters from Puck News, Ratner was the first and only choice to direct the Melania documentary. But how is that possible? How is this the only guy that you could think of? Is Melania a secret X-Men Last Stand fan? A source did tell Kim Masters that Melania herself said she was a fan of Ratner's work and liked the idea that he was an outcast. So hey, maybe she really does love X-Men The Last Stand, you know? A lot of people say that's the worst one, but it definitely isn't now. But not only has she been busy with her documentary, she also followed in the footsteps of various other generally untrustworthy people and launched her own cryptocurrency. Melania launched her Melania coin the day before her husband's inauguration as US president, the second time. Trump's done his own coin, and disclaimers on the website of both Trump and Melania's coins said they were not intended to be, or the subject of, an investment opportunity or a security. So you just buy it for fun. Whoopee! The First Lady's meme coin, oh my god, I can't believe I just said that sentence out loud. The First Lady's meme coin comes from her own incorporated company, MKT World LLC, a firm she's used since 2021 for various ventures, including selling portraits of her as First Lady. It's been a bit up and down. The coin hit an all-time high around the inauguration, but has since dropped more than 90% since its peak, according to CoinGecko data. So, not a lot to see here. Just more weird coins, weird stuff. But just don't buy the coin, okay? I can't believe I have to say that, but don't buy random meme coins. Please. More interesting than her meme coin, though, is some of the political work she's been doing, which has seen her become an unlikely ally for San Francisco Democrats. In her first solo public appearance since becoming First Lady a second time, Melania toured Capitol Hill to lobby for the Take It Down Act, which would make it a federal crime to post intimate imagery online, including deepfakes and other AI-enhanced images. She has a specific focus on young girls and said it was heartbreaking to see what teenagers and especially girls go through after they're victimized by people who spread such content. During a roundtable at the White House, she said, "This toxic environment can be severely damaging. We must prioritize their well-being by equipping them with the support and tools necessary to navigate this hostile digital landscape." State Senator Aisha Wahab and Assembly Member Rebecca Boa Khan, two of California's most prolific Democrats fighting deepfakes, say they welcome the First Lady's support. Aisha authored legislation signed by Governor Gavin Newsom last year, which included similar rules allowing people to ask that deepfakes of them be taken down. This is where we, as a society and a country, can come together and say, "We won't stand for this," she said. And Rebecca, who is carrying a bill that would criminalize the online hosting and distribution of unauthorized deepfake porn, said, "I often say tech policy is best done when it's consistent across the country, but that's been hard the last few years. Getting these companies to take ownership over this issue is challenging." It's a surprising team-up, especially considering these are two Democrat women from California, a place Donald Trump seems to love to hate. But Melania is obviously ready and willing to make this happen across party lines. It's not all smiles and rainbows, though, and Melania might have to have some awkward conversations with her husband's biggest financial supporter and most insane new friend, Elon Musk. One of the measures signed by Gavin Newsom last year drew legal challenge from X, who argued the requirements to label certain AI-generated political content violates free speech. Ugh. Do you know who also supports the Take It Down Act? Ted Cruz. It's a bipartisan issue. The Senate passed the Take It Down Act in February, and Melania's public backing could help get it through the Republican-controlled House and to President Donald Trump's desk to become law. So, what does the president think about this? Well, he made it about himself, shockingly. Donald Trump said during a speech that he might make use of the Take It Down Act himself, saying, "I'm going to use that bill for myself, if you don't mind. Nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. Brother, we're talking about abused teenage girls online, but sure, yeah, this act, you use the act for you. You get treated the worst. My God, how does she put up with this guy?" That's what we're all thinking, right? We're all thinking, how does she do it? Well, according to a new book, she actually and hates him. Michael Wolff, the best-selling journalist and author behind other Trump books like Fire and Fury, which came out in 2018 despite Donald Trump attempting to block its publication, has dropped a brand new scathing book called All or Nothing. According to the book, a source who is titled a Mara Lago patio confidant said of Melania and her husband, she hates him. She had not enjoyed a single day in the White House. To the extent that they had a marriage, even on a negotiated footing, it was further disrupted by her husband's mood swings and constant sense of offense and injury. Wolff writes, "Whatever was going on, and no one had any idea what was going on, at least no more than what was plainly obvious, it had certainly not been helped by the Stormy trial." This is nowhere near the first time somebody has theorized that Melania hates her husband. I mean, we've all We've all seen the awkwardness firsthand. Former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci also claimed that Melania hates Donald and even asserted that she had wanted Kamala to win and is tired of all the political nonsense. Melania has also been at odds with her husband's policies before. In her 2024 coffee book memoir, she wrote, "It is imperative to guarantee that women have autonomy in deciding their preference of having children based on their own convictions, free from any intervention or pressure from the government. Why should anyone other than the woman herself have the power to determine what she does with her own body? A woman's fundamental right of individual liberty to her own life grants her the authority to terminate her pregnancy if she wishes." So look, what's up next for Melania? What's on the schedule? I doubt a divorce. I mean, even if she does hate Donald Trump, I think if she was going to leave him, she would have already done it, right? I mean, the dude was on trial for giving hush money to a porn star that he'd slept with. Like, if you stay through that, you're probably going to stay through anything, surely, right? Back in 2023, reports came out that Melania and her team quietly renegotiated the terms of her prenuptial agreement. A source told Page 6 that Melania worked out a new post-nup agreement with an aim to protect her and her son's financial future from her husband's legal troubles and ensure that Barron's substantial trust fund won't be affected. Apparently, this wasn't the first time she had done this. According to the source for Page 6, this is at least the third time Melania has renegotiated the terms of her marital agreement. Melania is most concerned about maintaining and increasing a substantial trust for their son, Barron. So yeah, it could be easy to theorize that when he pisses her off, she just renegotiates that prenup. But I think there's a little bit more going on there, slightly more to read into in regards to the power dynamic within the relationship. In the 2020 book, The Art of Her Deal, The Untold Story of Melania Trump, author Mary Jordan alleged that Melania renegotiated the couple's prenup in early 2017, when she spent months delaying her move from Manhattan to the White House after Trump's inauguration. To me, that reads like, if you want me to come to the damn White House, I'm gonna need more, and I'm not leaving this apartment until I get it. Donald's willingness to renegotiate with his wife about money and prenups speaks to the fact that she is a political asset. A president tends to need a wife and glowing family to be accepted by the American public, and an expensive and embarrassing divorce is the last thing he needs. It's important for him to keep Melania happy, and I think she really does get the art of the deal and is willing to not divorce him for the right perks. That's all for today's Melania Watch. The First Lady who's somehow too busy for her own husband, the White House, and let's be real, probably the entire country. But she always looks good in a suit. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, guess what? You should like it and then also subscribe to the channel, because we do 5 videos a week on everything happening all around the world. And sometimes at the end of the video, I'll dance weird like this. Huh? Worth it, I say. Worth it. See you tomorrow.